my newest addition. I had no intentions of spending more money this week, and I failed. I I got these things for crazy, crazy good deal. Um, I couldn't pass up on it, so I'm gonna end up putting these on my Cherry. And for being from, I think it was 83 to 84, I haven't looked for a date code yet. I'm sure I'll find it when I start putting these things together. Um, I mean, there's little to no curbing. I mean, that's like nothing. I could have that out in a couple minutes. And they were definitely well taken care of. I mean, compared to the works I have, and I brought it up before, but they are fucking hammered. I don't know if this is, oh yeah. They're like cheese grated. Whoever drove with these wheels liked curbs, that's for sure. I mean, there's some real bad stuff going on. And this one honestly isn't even the worst. But I gotta finish these. These are for the Infinity. This one was destroyed. I went through and got it cleaned. I have gotta clean the shops, what I gotta do. The place is a disaster. But they were all equally as bad. And honestly, you can't even tell anymore. But I'm also in these things like 60 hours. So it pays to know what you're doing. I wasn't going to pay someone to do them. I was already in them too much money, and wasn't going to be in it more. I mean, if I would have had someone refinish them, I'd have been in them more money than I could have bought refinished ones for. So, but with these, I think I'm going to keep the original red. Just polish them like crazy, make them like mirror finish. The cool thing is, too, is the inside barrels were also polished. So I'll probably spend the time and do it. Make it all nice and pretty. I mean, the time I'll be in these four wheels will be probably less than just one outer barrel from the works. And these are Dunlop Le Mans TEs, I believe. Yes, TE. So, pretty cool wheel. Definitely has an SSR vibe, but a little more oddball. I got 13x6s, nothing crazy. I would like to ideally just rebarrel these things and then put them on the 810. But for now, they're going to be on the Cherry. Okay, so this is about 2 hours later. A little more work than I was expecting, because I was thinking two-piece wheels like my works, where the faces actually come off. They're not two-piece wheels. They were originally three-piece, and they were made into a one-piece wheel. So they're actually welded. The faces are in the center. There's no taking them apart. So with this, I went through, got all the really bad imperfections that were out in it as much as I possibly could. A lot of the other ones will pretty much be hidden after all the wet sanding and polishing. You probably won't even notice them. I did just kind of do a quick cleanup. I sprayed them down with acetone after I was done with it. That's why the red looks nice and shiny. But I started with 180 and took all the clear coat off. And when you're wet sanding, you can see when you're breaking through the clear coat. And it takes some time. Like I said, I'm cheap, so I try to do everything myself. And I mean, 2 hours. It's a pretty big difference. Like I said, now it's just on to serious wet sanding. And I'm going to start, like I said, I did the 180 to knock through all the clear coat. And I'm going to basically start 360 and work my way all the way to 5,000. Then when I polish it, they'll be like mirrors. It's a lot of work, but like I said, if you can do it yourself, you'll save yourself massive, massive money. Um, like I said, it's just tight places. It's hard to get into, especially, I mean, like right here on this inner lip piece. I had to tear little tiny chunks big enough and then just sit there and slowly get it all the way around. And I'm going to call it a night since I have it looking like this, and be back, I guess, starting at it tomorrow. So, stay tuned. Alright, so, night 2. I'm going to start wet sanding this thing. I have a bunch of different sandpaper I'm going to be using. I don't have 1200, which I swore I did, so it's going to go 4, 6, 1,000, 15, 2,000, 25, 3,000, 5,000, and then I'm going to polish these things out. I'm going to have this one at least polished and done tonight, and then tomorrow I'll probably start doing the faces, or maybe I'll just wait and do those all at once. Not 100% sure on that yet. I would suggest when you use this paper, you soak it first. It makes life a lot easier. I don't have anything to soak this in right now, so I'm just going to send it. But, I mean, it's straightforward. Spray bottle of water in it, sandpaper, coat the sandpaper best you can, soak the wheel. Always keep the wheel wet. You don't want to start drying, running it dry. And if you do, it'll start really scratching and scoring everything up. Normally what I'll do is I'll start from a base point. I always pretty much use where the valve stem goes, and use that and go one rotation all the way around. I'll do like the lips first, and then I'll go inside, do this line around, and then, you know, piece by piece. So it takes a little bit longer, but it guarantees that you're getting everything smooth instead of just trying to just run through all at one time. I'm going to start going for this, and when I get down to the 5,000, get everything done, I'll start the video back up, and then I'll show you once I polish it how everything comes out. Alright, unfortunately I have to stop for tonight. This took a little bit longer than I had expected. The longer you take, the better it's going to turn out. I mean, you can see it's made a huge difference even just from what I've done. It's starting to actually get a shine to it. I stopped at 1,500, so I have 2,000, 25, 3,000, 5,000. And once it gets to these, the last 4 or 5 grits of sandpaper, it's kind of the most important. So it's time consuming, like I've mentioned before. But I mean, you can see it's paying off. Just be patient with it. Throw some tunes on, listen to some music, and just go for it. So when I get back from work tomorrow, I am 100% going to have this thing done and polished, and I will show you a video and kind of go through everything. Alright, I decided I'd just add this to the video. Some people are visual learners, so am I. To keep everything wet. When you're doing this, you can always prop this up just a little bit at a time. Just there and just start going back and forth. Like I said, I started with the outer lip and the inside right here. Kind of went around all the way around this a couple times, making sure I'm getting everything. You can see when you're doing this, there's the lighter scratches. You can kind of start working out. When you get up, I'm at 2,500 right now. Did the same thing all the way around. I mean, I'm not going to have stretch tires on these. They're going to be pretty form-fitting, so I don't really have to worry so much about the inside hanging out and being seen. But like I said, pretty basic. Just keep everything wet. You start feeling grit, get it out of there. It's going to cause more issues. It's going to leave scratches that are deeper than what you're going to be able to polish out with what you have. But like I said, it's really basic. They just keep spinning and make sure everything's wet. For a certain point in time, it's going to get pretty black. Dump it out. Put fresh water in it. Keep going. You can feel it start to grit up from the aluminum. I'm not even pressing that hard. So I'm at the point now where I'm polishing. I'm not trying to be any more abrasive than I have to. Just kind of letting it flow back and forth. And like I said, after I get done with this, I'll go to the inside right here and then finish off with this all the way around. So, and like I said, it's really basic, straightforward. If you do this, I would highly suggest maybe trying gloves. The first, till you get to about 1500, you're going to tear through gloves, but it's going to save your fingers. My fingers are destroyed right now. When I get this thing done, I'm probably not going to touch another one for a week like I did with the works I did. My fingertips are raw and cracked, and my calluses are gone from doing this. I'm just too impatient to keep taking and switching gloves out every time I rip a hole in them. I'm just kind of giving you advice, whatever works for you. I'd rather sacrifice my fingertips, and others of you might not. But next clip will be when this is done, and I'll polish a section and show you what it'll turn out to be when you've completed it. And the wheel is dead dry. There's nothing on it, and it's already a huge difference from where it was. It doesn't even look like the same wheels. You can blast through this and have a somewhat decent outcome, or you can really spend the time, and it's going to pay off. Because when I do this, like I said, I'm going to polish this in just a second. I'm going to show you guys a spot. I'll do an area of the lip, or I'll pick a spot and show you, and then I'm going to blast the whole wheel out, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. But just so you can kind of get a general idea, it almost looks polished now, and it's just polished with sandpaper. So I use this Duracoating metal polish. Normally I'll use Blue Magic or Mother's Mag Polish, or whatever you choose, whatever you have. I bought this when I was doing polishing all the aluminum on the L24 that's in the 810. I polished the head, and for being a bare cast, just cleaned it up and then polished it. It worked pretty good. I was actually kind of surprised. So like I said, I'll show you a little spot. I'm just using this because my fingers are beat, and I'm not trying to stab them into a bunch of stuff. I am scrubbing pretty hard on this. Kind of seems like the more pressure you put on it, the better it comes out. I have one of the little wheels, like Mother's polish wheels or whatever it is for wheels, but I don't want it to hook it on these corners, and I'll just destroy it. And so I'm just going to do this by hand. And like I said, if the outcome from just doing this by hand is still very impressive. Let that sit on there for a second. And I'll still have to buff it out a couple more times. I don't know. You can still see there is some of those imperfections I couldn't get out. By the time I realized I couldn't get them out, I wasn't going to go back and start over. But pretty decent outcome. So, last part of this video will be showing you this thing completely polished out, what it looks like, and that's kind of a good view. You can see what's going on there. And then I'm just going to finish these over the next probably month, when I can. And the next video will be when I do the faces. So I'm going to do kind of a similar thing, polishing these out. And I'm not going to polish them, just wet sand everything, and then respray the red. And then I'm going to clear coat this, and this should give me a similar look to that. So here it is. Big difference from obviously what it was before. I mean, they were pretty hammered on. You still see some light scratches in here, and I mean, they're good driver quality for sure. I wouldn't hesitate to put these on a car right now. These, maybe a real rusty roadster, some 510 wagon, or something fucking not perfect. It still look cool on, but these are definitely workable. Not show quality by any means. I might go back and re-wet sand from 3,000 to 5,000 again, and try to get some of the more of the lighter scratches out. But I mean, overall, I can't complain. It was a lot of work, but it does show and pay off. So I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, the next video I will be doing the centers. I'll kind of go over what I experienced throughout the other 3 wheels, and if this wheel's comparable to how the other 3 come out, I'm just going to send it. Like I said, they're definitely driver quality for sure. Somewhere between driver and low show, but I'm happy. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Until next time.